Well, this video blew up. Thank you, genuinely, to everyone who decided to watch that video and help it gain traction. Speaking of the video, at the very end of the previous video, I left it off on a cliffhanger with Slendytubbies 2. Well, I'm back. Today, we continue playing, but this time in Slendytubbies 2. However, believe me when I say that these two games are pretty different, actually. Slendytubbies 2 was originally released in 2014, with the last supported version of it to ever be released being version 2.2, released on January 22nd, 2017. This is the version I will be playing on. Now again, as for rules, we mustn't use our flashlight in any of the levels at all. Now in this game we are given a very overpowered night vision camera. Because this camera technically illuminates our environment, I will not be using it. Unfortunately, the custards you collect have no real purpose in this game, but despite this we will still be setting the custard count on max, 25 custards. Because of this, I will be implementing a scoring system. S, all 25 custards, A, 24 to 20, B, 19 to 15, C, 14 to 10, D, 9 to 5, F, 4 and below. Some things to note in Slendytubbies 2, the levels don't have a time limit, so thankfully we don't need to worry about that. Also, you do not take any fall damage in this game, which, mind you, was one of the most irritating things to deal with in the Slendytubbies 3 challenge. So thank goodness it's not in this game. Anyway, I don't have much else to say. Let's get the show on the road. Okay, first map of this challenge is... Just want to move on to the next level. Final score is an A. Oh boy, I did not miss this. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the map in Slendytubbies 3 that broke me. The one map that was actually possible without the flashlight, the one that I could technically complete, but it was so stupid difficult to the point where I had to throw my hands up and say, no, that's it, I quit, I'm not doing this. And this level in Slendytubbies 2 actually wasn't too bad. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still just 12,000 square feet of brain drain. But there were multiple things that made this map actually far easier. First of all, the newborns. You can kind of juke them now. I've noticed that they are nowhere near as fast as the ones in Slendytubbies 3, and as long as you don't get right next to them or jump above them, you should be fine. However, the spawn areas of the newborns differ in this game. In Slendytubbies 3, they spawn in the cloning room off to the right, but in this game, I assume they spawn in the room off to the far left, the one inside the pipes. Now, this map has just a hint of universal light, and it's far more manageable to navigate than in Slendytubbies 3. The level geometry is even more tame. The hint of universal light means that I can finally navigate the inside of the pipes, making their whack geometry basically null and void. And because of how you jump and move in Slendytubbies 2, these ledges are not much trouble, instead of how they were in Slendytubbies 3 where you got stuck for a second before climbing up these ledges, because of how low your jump height is. Does it make this level any less annoying? Only a small bit. Because of how the newborns work in Slendytubbies 2, you can very easily juke them in open areas. But they're very certainly going to get you if you're in the pipes. So with this in mind, I developed a strategy, one that is going to be used for multiple maps in this challenge. Run forward as long as you can. The monsters are rather slow, but have a bad habit of just instantly destroying you when you touch them. However, if we're able to just run forward and not make a lot of sharp turns, we should be okay. And people, I am proud to say that this map is not only more than doable, but I was able to actually beat it this time. And I'm going to show my winning attempt because I want everyone to savor this moment. It's done. W, baby! You wanna know something funny? In Slendytubbies 3, the first map proved to be not much of a hassle, but the second map was just the worst. Similar situation here. The first map was surprisingly not difficult, especially for how obnoxious it was in Slendytubbies 3. But then we get to the second map, and it is very difficult. However, the problem isn't that the level is really dark and we can't see where we're going, just like how it was in Slendytubbies 3. However, it's because of how Headless Dipsy behaves and spawns. That darned underground tunnel system is where he spawns, and he can be a real pain considering how narrow the hallways are and how many dead ends exist. My first several attempts were done with me getting my bearings and trying to devise a plan. This plan involves the running forward strategy I described earlier. I wanted to get rid of every custard in the dead ends in the first part of the map, then have Dipsy start chasing me, and go around collecting the other custards I missed, and then, finally, go into the underground tunnels. That map was stupid. It took a bit of figuring out, but was more than doable when I figured out what to do. The lake has always been dubious. In Slendytubbies 3, its old version in the same game. In the Slendytubbies 2 version, oh my gosh, it sucks and blows! And if you look at the footage, I think you can tell exactly why. Given that you can still see and haven't gone blind. This map has rain, and oh my gosh. I know it doesn't look that bad in video format, but it's just the absolute worst in actual gameplay. Rain is normally transparent, not a solid white that makes my eyes hurt. Seriously, by the time I had completed this map, I was in a bad mood and was starting to get a headache. Now, this map in Slendytubbies 3 was just the weirdest thing. It was glitched and didn't keep track of your custard count because Dipsy was not programmed to spawn in. While this could be considered a good thing, which it is, the time limit along with how difficult the map is to navigate still made it really dubious. Thankfully in Slendytubbies 2, we don't have the time limit. However, what we do have is a working Dipsy. He's slow, like, laughably slow, but don't let that fool you. He's so slow that he could lose track of you and then pick up your scent while you're searching somewhere else. It's the whole thing. And yet again, this level is a pain to navigate. Everything is really samey, it's dark, the plants are really obstructive, the rain does make me want to call an ambulance because it's so bad, and Dipsy is also something we need to look out for. If you're wondering why so many of these custards are in the middle of nowhere, this is the first of a few maps that make use of your night vision camera, which you can zoom in to find far away and isolated custards. However, we can't use our camera, so we're having to find a hay in the needle stack. Yay! I really don't have a strategy at all, just wander around, be wary of Dipsy, hope and pray I don't go blind, and also hope that I don't get a cramp from my right hand holding down the W and shift buttons. Thank goodness we got the W. Now please get to the next map, I do not want to hurt the eyes of my viewers. In Slendytubbies 3, this map was one of the dumbest things ever, since there was a custard below the floor that couldn't be accessed. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with this in Slendytubbies 2. And this map is only really difficult due to how the monsters work. Again, most of the time you just touch the monsters and they instantly destroy you. However, Po is very slow as long as you run away from her and you don't get too close. I had to leave a group of custards in the metal hallways for last since Po was camping there. I had to lure her out by getting her to chase me. And then go back and get those custards. Other than that, this map was actually not problematic at all. Easy W. This map is basically the same as it was in Slendytubbies 3. There's a greenish fog that covers everything and it makes the level weirdly hard to navigate, and tons of long grass. Tinky Tank is just as much of a threat in this game as he is in Slendytubbies 3, so if he turns aggro, then keep running. And I would recommend you keep running for the rest of your time on this map, considering how Tinky Tank is only barely slower than you. And that's only because his punching animation is rather slow. Much like its later version in Slendytubbies 3, there are custards out in the middle of nowhere. You are supposed to find these using your night vision camera, which is completely out of the window. Thank goodness we don't have a time limit. Luckily, playing and watching my Slendytubbies 3 challenge video means I have a general understanding of where these custards are, so not that big of a deal. It's a map that's annoying, but still more than doable if you know what you're doing. Because of the rain, this map sucks like a black hole and blows like a quasar. Not only is there rain, but we have to deal with custards in the middle of nowhere. And Tinky Tank. Oh yeah, I'm avoiding you. Go ahead, you idiot. You think you can climb up here? Try me, you all bronze, no brains fool! Fight me! Oh no. That's what I get. Attempt number 2. Let's do this. Most annoying W ever. What used to be the final impossible challenge in Slendytubbies 3 is now the penultimate hurdle in Slendytubbies 2. Just like in Slendytubbies 3, this map is so annoying. Only difference is that I have unlimited time, so thankfully I don't have to be speedrunning this heaven for a second level. For this map, I applied the strats I used in Slendytubbies 3. Get the custards in the main part of the map first, and then focus on the ones in the outskirts of the outskirts. Also, I got the fright of my life in this level. This is another one of those maps that is designed for you to use the night vision camera, which can help you locate the various custards on the outer edges of the map. Okay, look. This level was Nobel Prize levels of stupid in Slendytubbies 3, and it's just as stupid in Slendytubbies 2. And like in Slendytubbies 2, I'm not doing this level! I mean, come on, the layout for the maze looks like this.
But wait. What dumb thing will Joseph do in this situation? Will he A. run in the opposite direction and outsmart the monster, B. throw something to distract the monster, or C. run into the monster like an ignorant fool?
I mean, I could attract the monsters, go to the main room, and then try my darndest to follow the maze and get as many custards as I can, but like, dude, I am a complete and utter idiot when it comes to mazes. There is no way. In my Slendytubbies 3 run, I got 4 custards and an F score. In this run I got 5! A D score, so that's a slight improvement, bumping up my score to a D. I only slightly care. Here is the one Slendytubbies map that hasn't appeared in any subsequent game since Slendytubbies 2's release, TubbyCraft. It's Slendytubbies Classic, but in Minecraft. This is basically a very easy version of the swampy mainland, custards on the main path and in the middle of nowhere. However, the flat terrain makes it very easy to spot them, all you have to do is just wander around for a bit. However, with the way Tinky Winky works as well as how weird this map's geometry is, you have to practice a bit of caution here. Other than that, it's a map that's only slightly annoying. Easy W. And here we are, the final map. And it's not that bad actually. Unlike the version of this map in Slendytubbies 3, we actually can see in front of us a bit, so we have a good idea of where we're going. However, this is still the mainland with many paths to take. After many minutes of wandering around, however, we did it. We beat the final map of this challenge. Every map in Slendytubbies 2, played and conquered, mostly, without using our flashlight once. It took a bit of perseverance, but we did it. Major W! Like last time with our Slendytubbies 3 run, now that we completed the challenge, let's tally up our scores. And if we take all the custards we collected, combined with the 250 total custards possible, our final score is a 92%. Which means we did it. We suffered through every Slendytubbies 2 map without using our flashlight. And it was kind of wild, and it makes me realize just how much the Slendytubbies series has evolved, and how it is one of the only early 2010s era indie horror games that still manages to be popular even today. The Slendytubbies games were really primitive, but soon started to really branch out and become its own thing. Far more than the simple Slenderman parody it used to be. It's poetic in a way, and it's one of the biggest reasons as to why I appreciate this franchise so much. It's grown up with all those who were introduced to it back in that cold, saccharine winter in 2012. And later in 2014, right before Five Nights at Freddy's 1 released, we got Slendytubbies 2, and it was much better than the first. Improved monster AI, quality of life improvements, new and scarier locations. It still had flaws, but was a vast improvement. And then, years later, we got Slendytubbies 3. In its current incarnation, it is the franchise's peak, and it's a genuinely fun and great horror game. And a good game in general. Anyway, nostalgia out of the way, this was quite the crazy run. Sadly, it was nowhere near as long as the Slendytubbies 3 one, but it was still fun to do, and very, very annoying. I'm going to leave things off here. Peace on everyone, have a wonderful day.